Welcome to the VET S.O.S. Veteran Entrepreneurial Spotlight. Remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S. Lifeline. Veteran Entrepreneurial Spotlight is proud to be affiliated with the Neil Haley Show and sponsored by SpearPoint Solutions. SpearPoint Solutions is a one-stop shop for leading-edge products, services, and training from multiple vendors, from AI training to corporate gifts and much more. They have everything you need to help your organization thrive in the modern economy. Check out all the valuable offerings at spearpointonline.com and remember to use the code VETSOS on anything you purchase there. That'll help us continue our mission, improving the lives of those who have served. Today, we're sitting down with Brandon Smith, a retired first sergeant from the California National Guard. He served 23 years, 20 active. He culminated his military career as a Senior Enlisted Advisor to the Joint Counterdrug Task Force, joined veteran service brands, and opened Mach 1 Epoxy in November of 2024. How are you doing today, Brandon? So excited to have you here.
You know, it's been a busy day. We did some floors. I sold some floors, and now I'm happy to be off and talking to you.
That's outstanding, man. We're happy to have you here and excited to get your story, especially, as a franchisee, right?
Yes, sir.
How that whole process worked for you and all those good things. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it, man. So looking back on it, actually, before we jump into that, tell us about your transition. How'd your transition out of the military go?
Just a brief backstory. My transition was a little rough, but amazing. I was sitting in the first sergeant spot and doing the thing and looking 2 years out when I got the call from a colonel that said, "Hey, you're my guy starting now, and you're going to be my guy until you retire." So I took on an awful lot of responsibility in those crucial 2 years of transition time. So it was hectic and terrifying. And I'm so happy that I found VSB. I'm so happy that I was able to open a business and move on with some ease. But man, it was a little chaotic at best.
I get that, man. I get that. And we've heard it time and time again, especially from senior leaders. You wind up doing the mission till the day's done and you don't necessarily get a whole lot of time to yourself, which is a shame. Okay. So how did those, your military service, the transition you went through, how did those types of things, shape you to the person you are today and what you're trying to do?
So like you said, I retired a year ago. We've been open for just over a year now. And honestly, I looked into law enforcement and I looked into some apprenticeship programs coming out. I'm no spring chicken. I probably shouldn't be bent over half of my day. But honestly, at the end of the day, my wife kind of said it straight. She's like, "You don't want to go be a cop. You don't want to work weekends. You don't want to work nights and holidays. What are you going to do?" And I was so fortunate to find VSB and get that going. And there's so many things that I was able to bring from my military career that I didn't think was going to fit. All those leadership meetings and trainings and all that stuff that you kind of brush off in the service, and then you start showing out as a servant leader here in the corporate world or in the business world. People are amazed by it. They're amazed by your work ethic and your professionalism and how you help as you're working. It's been pretty amazing to see how I fit in both in my community and in my professional life.
That's fantastic. Just love hearing that, man. And too often people just don't feel like they're a part of it. And I love hearing the fact that you feel like you're a major part of the community now and using all those lessons you learned to transfer over, which is fantastic. So aside from, the things your wife told you, that she knew you weren't going to do, was there a point where you just got bit by the entrepreneurial bug and you decided that you were going to, become an entrepreneur and start a business?
So we had a couple of small hobby businesses prior. And honestly, it wasn't even about starting the business. It was about not having the stress of finding another job. It was about betting on myself is really what struck me. And I had talked to VSB, and then I went through the application process for a couple of sheriff's departments and a couple other things and had options, but then none of them were really what I was looking for. And it kind of hit us like a ton of bricks. We were moving out of state and didn't know anybody, and it was just going to be easier to start over and bet on ourselves. And now I've been betting on myself since I joined the military, and it's worked out so far. Why not? And I can tell you this year has been, there's stressors and struggles, but man, it's been amazing.
There's something about that military mindset, and it's like, it's hard to bet against it. It's almost like its own brand of stubbornness.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
all right, so now that you're in the thick of being an entrepreneur, man, what's been the most rewarding part? What makes you wake up every day and say, "Man, I'm getting after it again."
In the service, you take care of your team. You take care of the people that you work with, the people you work for, and the people that work for you. And so I'm thoroughly in the process of building my team, rebuilding it here in the professional world. I've hired a couple of guys. My wife works for me on occasion, and I I am excited to get up and make sure that they're employed and they're getting paid really well, and they have opportunities and they're growing as much as I am, so that they can grow with our business. And I can tell you that gets me out of bed every day, even when it's a rough day. I can't let somebody down. So
That's
it's
awesome.
great.
So the next question is going to be about the hardest thing. And you mentioned a minute ago that occasionally you work with your wife. Do those tie together, or does it all go
No,
well,
that
man?
that is fantastic, and I will say
Okay.
that on record forever.
Okay.
No, it is.
Outstanding.
It's been pretty fantastic. My wife takes care of some of the administrative stuff, and as much as I enjoy it, she might not enjoy it at times. Right? She's getting to see
Okay.
that other side of me that she's never seen. Um, so that's good. I can tell you the hardest thing is there's in entrepreneurship there is so many ups and downs. You're in a bit of a roller coaster as you're trying to figure it out. And there's I've I do business coaching. I'm part of a franchise, so I have a lot of support and effort where people are kind of helping guide me. But there is no roadmap like you have in the service, where you go to the next class and you get promoted. You do the thing and you get the thing, right? There's nothing like that. So whatever your recipe for success is definitely not going to be what the next guy's is. So being resilient has played a huge part, and being able to shake off those small losses and look at the greater good is absolutely necessary.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. And you kind of alluded into my next question, which is, are there any veteran programs, mentorship programs, community organizations that you've used to, help launch your business, help spread your business that you're currently using?
Of course, I can't say enough about veteran service brands. They have multiple different arms. You can buy into them for reasonably cheap and start your business, and they will give you 85% of the tools that you need. And then they'll continue to help and guide you. And in turn, I'm trying to do the same now that we're up and running and starting to see profit and starting to see positive growth. I'm obviously trying to do that for the next guys that are coming along. And the fact that you can
Love it.
talk shop the same way that you were talking shop in the service, you have that same camaraderie and support, it makes it so much easier. It takes a lot of the stress away and a lot of the concern that you're going to overstep or say the wrong thing, offend somebody, or anything like that. I also do business coaching, huge mastermind. I'm a big supporter. I love them to death. And every time I go talk to them, I am definitely the dumbest guy in the room. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. They're all making way more money, but they take the time to hear my problems and they point out the obvious solution that I just don't have the experience to know. So if you're looking for, and there are other coachings out there that you can get, but between veteran service brands and any business coach that's got some background in it, just to help give you some guidance, I it's gone from a business that likely would have failed in the first couple of months because I spent like crazy trying to get going, to a business that I can see it growing to well over $1 million in revenue here in the next year. And with any luck, maybe I'm personally not doing floors anymore. Maybe I'm just selling floors after that.
That's awesome. Love hearing that, man. Love hearing about the success part of it. And um, are you involved in things like the local chamber and stuff like that?
Of course.
Yeah.
So we are part of several different chambers of commerce. Obviously, the DFW Rotary Club, we try to touch. I am in a very small community where I live, but my area of responsibility, essentially the area that I work, is fairly large with Nashville included. So it's it's not as easy to crack that nut and become a part of that community on that level as it is here locally. But man, start small. And one of my business coaches kind of coined the phrase: "Be the biggest fish in the smallest pond." And so I make sure that I go to all the community events, I participate, I support where I can, and I have a lot of fun doing that. But also, it gets my name out there. I've become a trusted part of that community, and I look forward to when the phone calls and they're asking for help because they know that I'm happy to provide it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's there's so many great things out there to get involved with, and um, just got to be careful to avoid burnout, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I like to think us in the service. I should have taken a break, but because I didn't, I'm just going. I'm just
yeah,
going, and it's I hope to get a break eventually. But honestly, I'm having a lot of fun. We're making money. We're doing great things. We're helping our guys out, helping others out. I'm okay working this level. I'll keep at it.
that's fantastic. All right, so tell us about the business, man. Tell us what you do, and all that good stuff.
So I own Mach Epoxy of Nashville West. It's a concrete coating company. Not that we only coat concrete, but that's what the phrase is. We do resinous flooring. It's your flake floors that I'm sure everybody's got on their social media now, and it's your metal. So yeah, we do all floors, both industrial, commercial, and residential. Um, and we try to do it. We try to bring that military precision and that customer service, that servant leadership to our job, and hopefully building a community around us, and working really hard to get where we're doing primarily industrial with a small stringent of residential work.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So if anybody wants to learn more or connect with you, where can they go?
The easiest way to connect with me is look up Mach 1 Nashville West and just call that phone number. I've made a point of it. I'm going to be the guy that answers that phone number, rain or shine, sleet or snow, for the next year. So if you want to call and you want to talk, you want to call and you need some help or some guidance, or you just want to pick my brain, I'll give you everything I got. I can't promise you it's the best, but I'll happy to share and happy to guide you. Um, but honestly, if you're looking at veteran service brands and you want to know how the process really worked and how to get in the weeds of what's good and what's bad, I'm happy to share all the horror stories that I have, which are very few, but I'll share all the great things as well.
Nice. Oh man, that's awesome, man, and I love hearing about the success. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on what you're doing, man. And then the fact that y it comes out, man, you can just tell that you're happy, you're enjoying what you're doing, and I love seeing that out of our veterans and especially our senior non-coms. Just so important to really find your place and get running with it, man. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Um, Today, we want to, thank Brandon for joining us. On behalf of the entire VET S.O.S family, we want to thank everyone who joined us today. You can find VET S.O.S podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, social media. Make sure to subscribe and follow VET S.O.S so you don't miss anything. And as always, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline.